Well, before I begin my hammer, that is cathartic. I'm telling you. I recommend this. If you got a lot of angst or anything built up and you want to get it out, take this passage to stand up there and just let the cat have it. You know, God, that feels good. Whoa. All right. Back when I was growing up in Canton, Michigan, out on the west side, it was still farms. The subdivisions had rolled into Westland, but in Livonia, but didn't quite get to Canton yet. Not till I was in college did the subdivision start moving into Canton. So there were still farms there. And south of Michigan Avenue, down Hannon Road, on the corner of Van Dyke and, Van Born Street and Hannon Road, was the Hazelback Farm. This farm was kind of famous because Mr. Hazelback and his wife, who farmed soybeans and sweet corn and various vegetables, he had given up dairy farming and taken up vegetable farming because, as he said, the barn smelled a lot better, which is true. It was a lot easier. That farm, his great-grandfather got the land grant from none other than President Andrew Jackson way back in the 1830s, and one of the original pioneers of Canton, and they set up the farm. Then, of course, through my years through college and law school, then the subdivisions began to roll in. And I tell you, those farmers did very, very well selling their land to the subdivision owners. I wish I could say that was true about the Hazelbacks. I'm sure they did well, but they did not sell to a subdivision. They sold it to a very large garbage disposal company. And if you should go to the corner of Van Born in Hannon Road today, I'd recommend keeping your windows rolled up tight because the smell is bad. And you look at these giant hills, and you didn't realize Canton was hilly. Well, it isn't, except where they dump all the garbage. It is the largest landfill in the state of Michigan. In fact, someone sent me some information, which turns out that Michigan receives more trash than any other state. And all of it's from Toronto. Well, the biggest city in Canada sends all its trash. And where does it go? To Canton Township, to the old Hazelback Farm. Yes, it does. I had the misfortune once of having to go into that dump. And all I can tell you is that I must have seen 10,000 seagulls and 1,000,000 flies, and the smell was ghastly. I wouldn't recommend that. And then watching dump truck after dump truck after dump truck with Canadian plates rolling in and dumping this stuff. It was something to behold. Anyway, I share that with you because when Jesus in this homily talks about Gehenna, he's talking about the town dump of Jerusalem. That's what Gehenna is. He's been talking about a specific place. It's the town dump. You remember, Jerusalem sits on a mountain, and there's different valleys. Well, one of the valleys, Gehenna, is where you threw your trash. Now this is where these readings get interesting. You see, the way people look at trash today and the way people looked at trash in Jesus' day is very different. Why is that? Well, in today's society, we live in the throwaway society. We throw all kinds of things away. I just had my oatmeal this morning. We had breakfast come in for the office. I had my oatmeal between masses. And once I was done, I threw away the cup, threw away the extra spoon, threw away the plastic, and threw away the paper that it came in. I'm saying, wow, look at all the stuff I'm throwing away just for eating this little cup of oatmeal. And it's true. We are more likely to say, throw it away and buy a new one than we're ever to say, let's fix something. In fact, when I want to get a laugh in the office, I point to something and I say, hey, maybe we can fix it. And everybody rolls their eyes and says, no, we should get a new one. Well, isn't that true in our lives? I know my parents used to fix and save things, but they were children of the Depression, and that generation is pretty much all gone now. We live in this society where I used to be able to say when we wanted something new, we'd go to the store, but I have been informed by my young people now No, Father, you take out your phone, you click Amazon, you find what you want, you swipe it, and it comes in the mail. It comes delivered 2 days later. Is that about how it works? Yes, my young people says, yeah, that's shopping now. No one even bothers to go to the store. And the stuff comes wrapped and boxed and all kinds of things, and that's what we do. Well, in Jesus' day, it was very different. First of all, they didn't have Amazon. They didn't. They also didn't have anywhere remotely near the disposable income we have today. Not in the slightest. So that the vast majority of people, when they bought something, they made sure they got every possible piece of use out of that item, no matter what it was. For example, if they wanted to get clothing, they would get the cloth. They would generally make the clothing themselves. They were very simple garments. They would patch it, resew it until they absolutely couldn't wear it anymore. Then they would use it for rags, and they would use it for washing. And then, when those rags got so bad they were going to fall apart, they would use it to stuff the holes in their little houses. And only until something got so bad that it was crumbling out of the hole that they would take what was left of it and toss it over the edge of the hill into Gehenna, the town dump. So, this place, when it received something of absolutely no value in a society that got everything of value it could out of whatever it bought. And then when the garbage would begin to pile up and begin to smell, the town fathers would go down there and light a fire and burn it down. So you get this image of the smelly smoke coming up the side of Jerusalem, the town dump. This entire reading today can be summed up in this way, and Jesus makes it crystal clear. You have two ways to go. There's two paths. If you choose to disobey God's law, if you choose to be selfish, if you choose to be angry, if you choose to be hateful, if you choose to be unkind, you're walking to the dump. But if you choose to be kind, if you choose to be generous, if you choose to be loving, if you choose to be compassionate, then you're climbing that stairway to heaven.